in the disappearance of little Kyron Horman. Even as the entire nation hoped and prayed the adorable 7-year-old would be found alive, his stepmom, Terry Horman, was allegedly meeting with a hitman to have her husband, Kyron's dad, murdered. The big question tonight, did Terry Horman hate her husband enough to have something to do with little Kyron's disappearance? Here they are, Terry and Kane Horman, holding each other tight in the days after little Kyron vanished, on Terry's watch, I might add. But Terry allegedly told the would-be hitman that she was in a bad marriage and that she thought her husband was cheating on her with somebody at work. Kyron vanished June 4th from his school. Terry Horman was the last known person to see him. When cops told Kane Horman about the alleged plot by his wife to murder him, he packed up their 19-month-old daughter and moved out. Well, who wouldn't? 2 days later, Terry was slapped with divorce papers and a restraining order. Now, Terry cannot even come near her own children. The family wants to keep the focus on finding Kyron, but all this family drama certainly is not helping. And the big question remains, could Kyron still be alive?
Kyron is still alive. We would like all of you, everyone, to continue to get his face out there, to continue looking for him in your day-to-day activities. We pray each day for Kyron.
That's the biological mom. Terry Horman, the stepmom, still has not been named a suspect or a person of interest. But with all this stunning new information, could an arrest be imminent? And you thought this story couldn't get any wilder? I am taking your calls on this. 1-877-JVN says, straight out to my fantastic expert panel. But we begin with investigative reporter Michelle Segota. Michelle, tell us the astounding story of this landscaper and this alleged murder-for-hire plot.
Well, it was on 4th of July, Jane, when the Oregonian had actually broke a report that stated that there was a landscaper that was possibly hired by the family. And that particular landscaper was approached by Terry Moulton Horman, allegedly, and was asked and was presented with a large sum of money and asked to kill Kane Horman. This was 6 or 7 months, as you mentioned, prior to Kyron going missing. Now, this information allegedly was brought to Kane from the Sheriff's Department, and that's when possibly the divorce proceedings were presented and also the restraining order was granted. So there's a lot of information within a short amount of time over this holiday. In addition, the family did speak out yesterday and did address a lot of questions and answers. We also did learn that other family members have in fact taken a lie detector test, and that at this particular time they'll do whatever's necessary to be able to try to find their child.
Now, KGW TV reports Terry Horman actually posted an ad in the newspaper about needing a landscaper and may have allegedly tried to hire other hitmen. They report her ad said she was looking for someone to clean up a medium-sized yard. Was that code for something else like, hey, can you come and clean up my medium-sized life and get rid of my medium-sized husband? Lord. One Portland landscaper who answered Horman's ad is Zach Gallinger. In an Issues exclusive, Zach joins us right now. Zach, thanks so much for coming on. What do you think Terry was looking for? Tell us everything you know from the ad on. What was the ad like? What did you do?
I received the information on April 27th through a lead generation service I use, and I acted on the lead the next day, left a voicemail for Terry. I understood that she needed a yard cleanup of a medium-sized yard, and I left her voicemail, and then I followed that up with an email and never heard anything back. I tried again the next week, still nothing, and then just counted it as a dead lead and left it alone.
Well, you're probably lucky that she didn't call you back. Now, I understand you did speak with investigators. What was that like? What happened there?
About 2 weeks ago, I got contacted by the Portland Police Department, and they wanted to know how I was connected to the Horman case. I was pretty interested at that point as well, since I didn't know that I was connected. And I was able to find out that they were in my lead book, and Terry had requested services, landscape services, back in April. And I relayed that to the officer and figured it was a closed loop. It didn't seem like anything important at the time, just a detective doing his due diligence. And then about yesterday, I guess I learned about the alleged hit job.
What's really fascinating is that apparently this all started before little Kyron disappeared. But then after he disappeared and the original landscaper called police and said, hey, you know, this is purportedly what she asked me to do, they put a wire on him. And then just a week ago Saturday, he went and met purportedly with Terry and an undercover cop, and they tried to tape the conversation, but she became suspicious and ended the conversation. Quickly, only about 10 seconds, your thought on all of that, Zach?
Well, I would think that if I was approached in that situation, I would definitely go to the police right away, and that would, in my estimation, would give you the best chances of catching somebody in the act, not 6 months later. And I wish that gentleman had come forward sooner, regardless of if there's a missing child or not. It would just be the right thing to do.
Yeah, well, that's a very good point, because it all started before little Kyron went missing, and if he had, maybe they could have done something about the situation in that family before the child disappeared. Fabulous panel, stay right there. Could this new development lead to little Kyron? And we're taking your calls. Jim Morgan, hang in there. We'll get you on the